2, 3, go! So the process starts in chaos. It's usually absolutely chaotic because there's ideas. Either everyone's got ideas or no one's got ideas. And then we listen and we listen and we play and we listen and we play. And it comes and it grows into something wonderful.
Music is the most important thing in Marcello's life, especially classical music. And being able to be part of a group where the language that Marcello uses to communicate with, able to express yourself and be appreciated for what you offer, is just wonderful.
LSO Create is a rather wonderful thing that mixes together adults with all sorts of needs, all sorts of vulnerabilities, with musicians from the London Symphony Orchestra.
It's very inclusive, and and togetherness. It's good for me. It kind of like, gets me out and do stuff. So yeah.
There aren't any other groups that we've come across where it's as fulfilling for him as creators. Yes, you go along and you have a little bash and you play along to a tune or something, but it doesn't have the same meaning that Create has.
Kind of helps me, my well-being and stuff.
Everyone works incredibly hard, regardless of their abilities, and that's an amazing thing to share and be part of. Very LSO. It kind of really belongs in the LSO world.
Basically, St. Luke's is being refurbished, and so we didn't have the building anymore, and so that forced us to go into different places.
Really, quite a long time ago, there had been a few sessions where we hadn't been able to work in St. Luke's, and that just opened up some possibilities. Back in those days, we'd worked a bit with the Victoria and Albert Museum, amongst others, and that was an extraordinary experience. So we thought, well, let's make something amazing out of not being able to be in St. Luke's.
Marcello in particular has taken it all in his stride and has been very happy to go to all the various places. And it didn't matter where we went because we were doing LSO Create, and that was the important thing.
So we started at St. Luke's Community Centre. It's just around the corner from LSO St. Luke's. Our next port of call was the Barbican Gallery. They were extraordinary. We had the Barbican Gallery on a day that it was closed to the public. It was ours for the day. We could look at whatever pictures we wanted to. We made some really special pieces just in a day. It was a day in the gallery. Really incredible. Then we crossed the road a month later to the Barbican Cinema, where we'd been given a short film, which was to be shown in the Oska Bright Film Festival. That had no music for it. So we were composing the music for this roughly 10-minute film. We spent a day in the Barbican Cinema where we could watch the film and begin to devise our music. And then we spent a second day at the Guildhall School in their concert hall where we recorded the soundtrack that we'd made for the film. And then we'll get even louder. Louder than full volume. Louder than full volume. We're going to 11, and then something else will happen.
We actually started in the National Gallery, and we looked at the paintings, and we kind of got ideas from the details of the paintings, and we kind of taken those details and turn it into music.
Again, this is full of texture, but actually amazingly full of sounds. When I was looking at it, I thought, wow, I'm copying sounds here.
My name's Dr. Tilly Scanterbury. I'm an art historian and an educator at the National Gallery. Music's been integral to the National Gallery. In World War II, Dame Myra Hess, when the gallery was empty and had no paintings, there was a concert every day for 6 years. So music and the National Gallery have a long-lasting and very strong relationship. As an art historian and as like a teacher, my main mission is to get people excited about the work. And in order to do that, of course, primarily art is visual. But great art engenders all of your senses. So when I talk about Rembrandt, of course I'm saying, what do we see? I'm thinking about the application of paint and the colour. But sometimes paint is applied so thickly that it becomes tactile. It becomes three-dimensional, something that you can imagine touching. And then you have a whole different conversation. You say, what would it feel like to touch this? And suddenly we're using our hands. Of course, we're not actually touching it, but we are using our imagination at that point. And that's that jumping off point that's so exciting. And then you can, with some of the paintings are so quiet, and you can hear everything still. It's so strange. You can feel like a room is waiting. Sometimes the painting is so loud. You know, you can hear the shock of someone taking in a breath, or maybe even screaming, or plates clanking. You can actually hear that. So using all your senses is really key to unlocking actually the full picture. I do that with all age groups, of all manner of teaching. If you can get a full body experience, use all your senses, then my gosh, your access to that painting, it's kind of limitless actually, yeah.
You know, as ever, the selection, there's all sorts of things go on in the selection of why you're working with those particular paintings. And it goes from the artistic to the practical. The group takes a long time for us to get anywhere. So we needed some paintings that were easily accessible. Just that physical accessibility was really important. And that's as much part of the choice as these paintings tell stories that we think would be really interesting in music.
There was a moment when we were lucky enough to close room 22, which houses most of the Rembrandt collection at the National Gallery. And we were in there, and I was talking about the paintings, and I was describing just what we see. And to be in that room with those paintings from so many years ago was quite extraordinary. And to actually see people's faces in that room, and to know that this was a unique experience, not just singularly, but it was a collective moment of us being with the paintings in that moment together, and then hearing music in that room as well. That was really quite extraordinary, to be honest. I wondered in that moment what the paintings thought of us there, looking at them and being with them. And the room is always extraordinary, room 22, but having it to ourselves as well. It was like we were having a real conversation.
Oh, you can be quite loud.
Oh, great, okay.
But just a long, slow line rather than... Do you want to listen to Michael Marks or go for it straight away?
Yeah.
Listen, Mark, listen once.
Yeah, we kind of like practice all together in the sessions, in an ensemble.
Hearing the music develop and being lucky to be in the room like a fly on the wall. You know, once I'd talked to them about Rembrandt, really my work was done. I had the pleasure of listening. And that was also quite amazing because I could hear the paintings. That really, really excited me actually, yeah.
that gave us a really beautiful, solid base. If you've got the image itself and what that transmits and the knowledge underneath, then you've got a fantastic, strong base to make music. Again, for practical reasons, I needed to write some background ideas. So I wrote some background ideas, which is what the orchestra plays, and then the members of Create developed their own material to go over the top of those.
And the goal, as I say, is to be a gallery for everybody, that people can, it's your gallery, it's a nation's gallery, and so you're not coming to our gallery, you're coming to see your paintings. That's how we want people to feel, that you truly should be at ease there. You're just seeing your paintings.
I feel I've got my own personal 5 Rembrandts in the National Gallery now. And that's just an extraordinary collaboration, and one that I'm absolutely sure we all want to carry on. It's a really strong effect if you put people that play at the level that those musicians play at, then the whole level of everyone in the room changes to come towards them. So they change everyone else's level just by being. They have wonderful ideas. The way ideas grow and create is very collective. It's not the participants or the musicians or me. It's something we all do together. We gave a concert at the National Gallery in the theatre they have there, where we didn't take the whole orchestra as our backing. We used piano to accompany us. And finally, the team for the National Gallery will be at the Barbican to hear us play the full version with orchestra. We're going to finish our journey of the year. We've got one more meeting to go where we're just going to meet quietly and play some music together for the day and think about the future, think about next year, and we're back in St Luke's, and Create itself will develop and move on.
It's very hard to put into words, but it touches his whole being. So after a day of Create, Marcello is just on high.
Being in the moment, just be in the moment. Like,